Well, we had better luck this time. Finally got all the body panels back and ready to go to spray the underside of the doors and the hood and the deck lid. We're going to call this a successful failure. The reason it was a failure is I had a slight bit of solvent pop on the hood, so I'm going to have to sand the hood down and respray it. This is part of the learning process. What it was is the hood has a curve to it, and the paint got a little bit thicker there. I was reaching, hard to explain, but I got a little bit too much paint there, so it took longer to dry. My flash time was right everywhere except that one spot. I painted before the flash was ready and got some solvent pop. However, everything else turned out pretty good. Let's take a look at what we've got here. And again, I didn't use extremely sterile surroundings. I didn't spray it in my booth. I sprayed it out in the middle of my shop, which is fine because it's the underside of the deck lid. It's going to have some material on it. Same with the doors. It's going to have a pocket on it and some carpeting and things like that. So it's a little bit less critical to get it absolutely perfect. Plus, I had some other issues, but let's take a look at how it looks first. First of all, let me say, Auto Paint HQ. No complaints whatsoever. Good quality stuff, and I think this turned out really nice. Let me put some light on it here so you can actually see what the color looks like. Of course, I've got a little bit of dirt nibs in it everywhere. The deck lid's got quite a few dirt nibs in it. If I wanted to get real special on that, I can do some do a cut and buff on this because this is clear coat. The other door here, jambs look good. Much better results this time. Take a look at that color though. The metallic laid down really nice. Again, got a little bit of dirt in it. I can get that off in the cut and buff. But again, the doors have a pocket and door panel that go on it, so it's not that critical. This was a little bit rougher. I had a little bit of an issue with a drip on my gun, but you can see this color just looks really nice. I had a drip in one or two places. I can cut and buff that out, no problem. The issue was, let me show you my gun and I can show you exactly what caused that problem. The way this paint gun works is it's got this little thing right here where a piece of surgical tubing runs to pressurize the actual canister. And you've got a check valve on it. If I can get it to hold still, you got a check valve on it, and it runs to that canister. So it pressurizes it and be sure and pulls the fluid out. Well, the tubing that I was using on the gun as I was spraying the clear is this. It wasn't sealing very well, and I was kind of afraid of that because it felt kind of loose. I need to get some more tubing on it, but it was a little bit of a drip there. That's what caused a drip in two places on the deck lid. That's not a problem though. Like I said, I can sand that out. It was just a minor detail, but I can't stress how much I like this color. I think the whole car is going to look good. And of course the car is going to be sprayed in more sterile conditions, so I'm not going to have the dust nibs. Plus you can get all that out in cut and buff, but look at that. The metallic worked out really well. This is my first attempt at spraying metallic on a large basis like this. And I have to say, I'm pretty pleased with the results. Now what I did on this is I was using, for the base coat, I was using the number 4 Fuji tip, which is a 1.4 millimeter. This is where I ran into problems before. If you recall, I had the number 5 on it, not thinking about it because I didn't even remember that I had that number 5 tip. And I was producing way too much volume of material, and that's what caused the initial runs and all the other difficulties. I also picked up this in the interim, which this is a number 3 tip, which is a 1.0. This is what I use for clear. So in the future, the number 5 tip will be for primer, the number 4 tip will be base coat, the number 3 tip will be for my clear coat. It laid down, atomized really well. Absolutely love the color. And I think it's going to turn out very nicely once everything is said and done. Now, insofar as to what is next, I'm going to let this base coat cure for a full 24 hours before I go back in and sand it off. I'm going to wet sand 600 the entire underside of the hood, and I'm going to come back in and lay another coat or two of base to correct the solvent pop issue that I had there. That's not a problem. I actually had an incident of that when I was painting the 32 Ford, so I know how to deal with it. I know what I did wrong, And the good news is it can be fixed pretty easily. Then after that hood is corrected, I'm going to mount these panels on the car, tape everything off, clean, wet down the floor, set up my shop, which you can see here. I've got electrical cables, light bulbs, lights are over there somewhere, as well as my fan, which I use the Vevor explosion-proof fan, which is right here. Used it in here. Boy, it really pulls the overspray out really well. Didn't have any problems clearing out the room or anything like that. So I'm pleased with that. It's going to ventilate everything. One of my subscribers pointed out correctly that I need to be sure and test my ventilation of this before I actually paint, because it generates so much suction that it could pull the walls in. I absolutely agree with him 100%. I am going to do that. I'm going to use either a combination of 2x4s or I'm going to get some PVC pipe to reinforce the sides. That way they don't cave in on me while I'm doing that. Today is Friday. Tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the room. That means I'm going to hang the lights. I'm going to set it up to where I can test my ventilation, see all the problems, set up my filters, get everything done. Then I can go ahead, because these will be dry tomorrow, I can go ahead and mount these panels, go ahead and start taping off the Cobra, and then I'm going to sand the underside of the hood and see if I can get a load of paint on the bottom side of the hood and make it look as good as these other panels. So be sure and stick around, hit like and subscribe if you like the content. I'm really looking forward to getting this car green, because once the paint job is done, we are in the final assembly stage, and I cannot wait. Once the final assembly is together, I'm going to take it back to Springfield, do a final dyno tune on the engine, get it running nice and strong, and we're going to enjoy this car. The end is in sight. Yes, it's still in another state, but at least I can see it on the map. We're going to keep going. Thanks for watching.